Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is a 212A, the Tier 9 Soviet SPG, and we're on the attacking spawn of Karelia Assault. Now, the name of the commander is Bishkreig, and he sent us replays before, but I don't think he sent us one with a 212, so let's see how he gets on with this battle. Now, it looks to me like that 212's actually got a 203mm howitzer, the B4. It's got a longer reload, but it's pretty good at damaging the enemy. It's the same B4 that you find on many of the enemy of the Soviet artillery. In fact, most Soviet artillery comes with a choice of either the 152mm BR2 howitzer or the 203 B4. Okay, he's looking for a target straight away, and he's got a defender line him up. Almost fired that a bit late. Yeah, I think actually that the problem with that shot was he didn't give enough lead to the defender, unfortunately. It was just a bit too hasty, but that's okay. He can get it with the next shot. Oh my god, that T-49 is in a desperately bad situation. He's got a Waffenträger on one side, the RU-251 and a T-32 homing in on him. He's not going to last long. That's the end of his game. Oh, he got himself stuck on that ramp, and that was the worst possible thing he could do. But Bishkreig's going after that T-32, who's now gone unsighted, but we think he's still there. And he got a hit! And there's other shots going into that T-32. Even though he was unsighted, people remember where he was and they put rounds into him, so he's picked up some stun assists there. Okay, group of tanks all lined up together, make perfect targets. Right, we've got a Chrysler GF, an Emil and a T-10. Oh, and an IS-3 as well. Oh, well, you're spoilt for targets here. Which one do you go for? Well, Bishkreig's almost loaded. And it looks like he's going to go for the Chrysler first. Whoa, direct hit on the Chrysler, but he badly damaged the T-10 as well. And I suspect the splash hit the T-10's engine bay, because he did 339 hit points to the T-10, but only 191 to the Chrysler, even though it was the Chrysler he hit. It must have hit the Chrysler's strong points. Maybe that's why it didn't do so much damage to the Chrysler. Okay, he's got loads of targets here. He's trying to aim between the Chrysler and the Emil. No, he's going to go for the side of the Chrysler. Oh, and he's taken out the Emil! The Emil moved back into the line of shot, and he took the shell that was meant for the Chrysler. It must have been coming in at a very, very shallow angle, but it went straight into the Emil and wiped him out completely. And that's 923 hit points off the Emil. That's a really good shot. There's a ding-dong battle going on up here. It really is. But they appear to be backing away. Now he's going for the IS-3 this time. Direct hit. 298 hit points on the IS-3. Big stun. And that IS-3 is badly hurt. But Bishkreig's now paying attention to the southwest corner of the map, because we've got a Defender, a T-25 Pilot 1 and a Tiger 2, and they're assaulting a Type 4 Heavy. He's moved up with the protection of that rock, and he's receiving fire from the enemy Arty. Now Bishkreig's almost loaded. Looks like he's going to go for the Defender, but I would have gone for the T-25 really, to be honest. Oh, that went long and it hit the T-25. He was aiming for the Defender, but he got the T-25. Well, the T-25 was the right choice because it's a medium. They got less armor, and so every shot that hits the T-25 is going to do much more damage to them. So he was very lucky that the shell went long from the Defender, who's now out the game, and hit the T-25 and really badly damaged him. 482 hit points off that last shot, and he's almost ready to go again on the Tiger 2, who's rocking backwards and forwards. It's not going to help him if he does that. And that landed right on his engine bay. 416 hit points, 2 critical hits. I suspect one of those might be his engine this time. He may have had to have repaired his engine to keep moving. And that Type 4 is lining up a shot on the Tiger 2. I can see his barrel pointing in that direction. If that Tiger 2 pokes his head out, he's going to get around. Oh, he did, but the Tiger 2, Type 4 derped it into the rock. And the T-25 pilot's getting very bold, and he's decided to troll the Type 4, move up right alongside him, and I don't think the Type 4 is going to like that. I think that's going to be the end of the T-25 game. And there's another round into the Tiger 2 from Bishkreig, and the Type 4 ends the T-25 pilot's game. I'm not surprised that he did that in the end. Okay, we've got Scorpion. Oh, and the Tiger 2 is still receiving damage while stunned. That Scorpion's coming up behind this IS-3 and IS-6. Oh, and he ends the IS-3's game. Now, can Bishkreig put the round into him? Lining him up. Crosshairs in the right place. Rounds out. Direct hit! Scorpion G's taken out. 885 hit points. That was a crucial hit. And that's just left the Chrysler as the sole remaining tank in the northeast corner. Now Bishkreig's making the right choice here. Get out of the round the back and try and follow up with the Wizzy 111 and the Type 4. If he'd remained where he was, the Chrysler could have headed south, and he would have been the first person to spot the Chrysler and get shot by him. So instead he's decided to go around the south side, give him a bit of distance between him and the enemy. Now he can't fire at the enemy there, so he's decided to get a move on. Now the 212 was actually designed and supposedly going to use the chassis of the KV220, but the tank factory that was supposed to be doing the build work and the development work for the 212 was so busy with tank orders that they just didn't have the time to put together the SPG, even the prototypes. And so in the end they decided to cancel the project. Now very wisely, Bishkreig's decided not to go up the steep slope there, and he's actually headed away from that, and he's extending his aim. It'd be best actually if he did a direct route to the enemy cap now. There's the Chrysler. He can hit it from here, rounds out. Direct hit again, 388 hit points, 3 critical hits. That was a good strike. And there's the Jagdtiger 88. Now the enemy's got 1 Arty, 1 tank destroyer, the 88. He's got 1 medium Type 54, T54, and 1 heavy, the Chrysler. Now he's indicating the Jagdtiger is his next target, but that Jagdtiger is taking fire. I think he's tracked actually because he's pointing in the wrong direction. The Scorpion's coming up from the east side of the map. He's headed north, and that round hit, direct hit again. 319 hit points, 3 critical hits. That's really ruining that Jagdtiger's day. And he's out the game. M53, 55, he's backing away, but he's been taken out by the Type 4. Now Bishkreig's almost reloaded. Looks like he's going to try and go for the T54. Needs to put a bit of lead on that target. He's at the edge of his field of fire, and that didn't give enough lead. So it's going to land short. But even though it landed short, it still did 77 hit points. Now he's indicating his target and saying that the T54 is where he's aiming. We know the Chrysler's behind that rock somewhere. T54 is headed south. Bishkreig's loaded. Can he hit that T54? It's going to be difficult. No, he's got a red line some places there. It's going to be a very difficult shot. If that T54 hugs the rock, he is basically an Arty safe. Yeah, see red line there. He can't fire. He'd hit the cliff face if he did. Well, that Type 4 is exchanging fire with the T-54. He can fire there, rounds out, and he splashes him. 39 hit points, 2 critical hits. That's the minute hooter, by the way, 15 seconds ago. Now they've got to get to that T-54 and end his game as quickly as possible, otherwise they're going to lose. There's not enough time to cap, really. And the Type 4 Heavy gets the T-54 and they've won the game. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats for this one. And it's an ace tanker for Bishkreig in the 212A. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 16 in that one. And he picked up a Gore's medal for doing more damage, exceeding 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle. He picked up a Confederate for hitting more enemy than anyone else on his team, at least 6 tanks subsequently destroyed by other members of his team. And finally, he picked up a High Calibre because he dealt the most damage in the battle, at least 20% of the enemy team's hit points. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, when it comes to the team scores, he came top on damage, naturally, 5,098 hit points. A good 2,000, well, just under 2,000, 1,700 more than the Wizzy 111. But he only got 2 kills, so he was beaten by the Wizzy 111, and he came 4th place there, or joint 3rd place when you come to the kills. And when it came to base XP, well, he was 3rd with 1,130, but it was still enough for an ace tanker. He fired 13 rounds, got 8 direct hits, 8 penetration. That's a very high percentage. He did damage of 5,098 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. He hit 10 of the enemy, but killed 2 of them. He did stun assistance damage of 1,408 hit points, and that was off 14 stuns. With a premium account, he earned 60,977 credits, and there's no resupply cost in there at all, so he must have had some rounds spare, possibly from one of the other Artys using the 203mm howitzer, which means obviously that's all he took away, 60,977. He received 1,695 XP, but it was ×3 for the first victory of the day, so he actually took away 5,085 experience points in total. So well done there, Bishkreig. Good battle, 3 epic medals and an ace tanker. You certainly showed them what's what, especially with the accuracy. A lot of those shots were bang on the money, right on top of the target, and it was very funny when you actually hit the Emil when you were aiming for the Chrysler, and also very funny when you aimed for the Defender and took out the T25, or at least put a big hit into the T25. If you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay I'll be featuring in our next video.